Alright, so for the Law of the Normal OTK deck, well, Law of the Normal, what it does is if you have 5 face-up level 2 or lower normal monsters in the field, you destroy all cards in the field and in both players' hands. Cards of the field, except level 2 or lower normal monsters. I forgot about that last part. So what you want to do is swarm the field with level 2 or lower monsters that are normal. Level 2 or lower normal monsters use triangle power to increase all their attacks by 2,000, and then pop Law of the Normal so they can't do anything to stop the OTK. So what you do is you run 15 normal monsters. So we have 3 Oppressed People, 3 Bulina, Vanilla, because it's supposed to be like play on vanilla, triple Charcoal and Pachi, triple Flame Veil Guard, and triple DD Trainer. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yep, that's 15. You want to run 15 normal monsters, and I only ran the ones with 2,000 defense or more, because there are actually quite a few level 1 monsters that have 2,000 or more defense. And then double Rescue Rabbit, obviously, to bring out these cards faster. The reason you want to run at least 15 normal monsters is because of Enchanted Fitting Room. What this card does is you pay 800 life points, pick up 4 cards from the top of your deck, and special summon all level 3 or lower normal monsters. If you only run 12, which is probably recommended, your chances of actually summoning a monster through Enchanted Fitting Room are vastly decreased. Because I've done tons of testing with running 12, taking out 3 of them, as opposed to running 15, where you have 3 extra. And Enchanted Fitting Room is a dead card more than half the time when I run 12, and I actually get a special summon out almost every single time when I run 15. So I've done lots of testing, and I found it best to run 15 normal monsters to run triple Enchanted Fitting Room. If you don't run 15, you don't want to run this card at all. That's how important 15 normal monsters is, because of the mathematical probability. Alright, and then obviously Rescue Rabbit to bring them out. Since you're running 3 copies of each, you'll have more than enough copies. Same thing with League of Uniform Nomenclature. You have 3 swarm cards that make this deck work fast. It's League of Uniform Nomenclature, Enchanted Fitting Room, and Try White. League of Uniform is if you have a face-up level 2 or normal monster, you can special summon 2 other copies of that same monster from your deck. So you will summon some of these cards in face-up attack mode, which is fine, because the deck's all about OTKing anyway through Law of the Normal and Triangle Power, so you can take some damage. You special summon in attack mode, wait for your opponent to preferably pop an MST to try to destroy this face-down card, or preferably they try to destroy one of these cards, like Dark Hole or something. You still want to chain this card, that way the cards go to the graveyard at least. Because of Try White, where you can target 3 level 2 or lower normal monsters in your grave and special summon them. So if you use League of Uniform and they like Dark Hole 3 of your cards, you can use Try White on your next turn to bring them all out. And these 3 cards allow you to swarm like crazy. League, Enchanted Fitting Room, and Try White. That's why you run 3 of each. You could probably just run 2 Try Whites, but this deck is all about swarming as fast as possible. And obviously, triple Triangle Power and triple Law of the Normal, because these cards are needed for the OTK to go off. 1 day apiece, because it's great for stalling out, in case you have to play one in face-up attack mode in order to use a League of Uniform. Double Heart of the Underdog, since you're running 15 normal cards. Like, the bad thing about playing any kind of normal monster deck is actually having the normal monsters in your hand, because they suck. Even though one of them is a tuner, it still kind of sucks, because you don't want to use any XYZ summons because you're trying to pop Law of the Normal. Only reason you have these cards here is just in case your opponent stops all 3 Law of the Normals somehow, or stops all Triangle Powers, then you have to do a last-ditch effort to try to win through actually outplaying them with your XYZ monsters. I'll tell you about that later, though. But yeah, that's one reason they're there. I already explained how League works. Double Heart of the Underdog, there's no reason to run more than 2. And there's really no reason to only run 1, since you're trying to draw more cards to OTK. This deck is basically all the draw power you need, because you will be drawing these a lot. Sucks. Yeah, this deck will only win like half the amount of times just because of the fact you're running low-level normal monsters. League to Swarm, Human Wave Tactics. Since all these cards have really high defense, they won't be getting destroyed that often, but they still will be getting destroyed, and Human Wave Tactics is perfect for that, because what it does is, if a level 2 or lower normal monster is destroyed by battle, during the end phase you can special summon an equal number of monsters that were destroyed. So, say you have a DD Trainer and a Vanilla, both destroyed by battle while face up, attack or defense, doesn't matter. During the end phase of that turn, you can special summon like another Charcoal and Pachi or a Flame Veil Guard, just because they're the same level as the ones that were destroyed. And you're only running level 1 monsters in this deck because of Triangle Power. What Triangle Power does is it increases the attack and defense of all monsters on your side of the field by 2,000 points. And during the end phase, it destroys all monsters that were affected by this effect. And this does stack, so if you use all 3 of them in one turn, it'll increase their attack by 6,000. But you only need to use 1 on all 5 with a lot of the normal in order to win. Because, what is it, 5 times 2, that's a 10,000 damage. It's an easy win. You only need to have long Triangle Power affected 4 cards to get an OTK off for 8,000 points of damage. Tyrant's Throws, if you just want to stall out. This card is amazing. You tribute 2 normal monsters, and neither player can normal summon or special summon effect monsters, which includes XYZ monsters, unless they use the Gem Knight one. That's like the only normal monster I can think of. Or Gagaga. Oops, forgot to turn off my phone. Yeah, Tyrant's Throws double because it is great for stalling out. Shit, again. And 1 Solemn Judgment because you need some kind of something to stop your opponent from stopping your OTK. What I would probably recommend is taking out a Tri-White and adding in like a Dark Bribe. Dark Bribe, because it also stops Spell Trap, because this deck requires you to activate 2 cards, and if your opponent stops both of them, the OTK is done. So maybe running a Dark Bribe as well, or a Starlight Road, Starlight, in case they want to destroy your Tyrant's Throws or Human Wave Tactics for swarming the field. Or also, since this deck is all about speed, you don't really want to run a Pot of A. Where's Pot of A at? Oh, 1 for 1 is not good. It sucks for this deck. I know this deck is all about level 1 monsters, but it's just so bad for this kind of swarming deck. And yeah, there's Pot of A, since you'll have a lot of cards in your graveyard. If you can't get off the combo by then, I don't know. I just found it slows the deck down, because you want those cards in your graveyard for Tri-White to bring them out. And there are other cards you could use if you want. Gem Elephant. The great thing about this card is you can return it to your hand during the main phase, so you can still get off Law of the Normal. He has a high defense at 1900, and he can increase his defense by another 1000 by sending a normal monster card from your hand to the grave. So Gem Elephant is actually really good in this deck, and you can play him if you want, but I don't. Man Throw Tro, if you want to just win by effect damage. I should probably see if I can make a deck using this card. I don't know. Lycanthrope, I tried a ritual-based deck around this, where you use advanced ritual art to fill your grave with level 1 monsters, but it doesn't work. White Elephant's Gift is fine for drawing cards to get the OTK off faster. I've just found that it slows the deck down, since there are already enough good cards for it. Fustian Bargain, not really great in this deck. Dark Factory of Mass Production, you don't really want to add the cards back to your hand. Swing of Memories is fine. Overlimit, you can replace Human Wave Tactics with Overlimit easily if you don't want to have face-up continuous trap cards. Tyrant's Tirade, tribute 2 monsters, effects. They'll affect monsters that activate in the hand or the field cannot be activated. This one's way better. And Shape, no, that was for a different deck. Now, if they somehow stop you from actually pulling off Law of the Normal, you can still win by using Lionheart to attack with, because with this card, if your opponent attacks him, they take all battle damage that you would take instead. Or you can bring out some Synchro monsters, since you do have a tutor monster. Flamevale Guard is a tuner, so you can use him and tune with another level 1 to bring out Formula Synchron or Blazing Purple Dragon, because they're both tuners as well. And then you'll have a level 2, and then you can synchro that with another level 1 to bring out Mistbird, which is the best. It's really good, and it's only level 3 synchro. What it does is it negates the effect of opponent's monster and puts its attack at 0, so you can probably kill him with a Rescue Rabbit or a DD Trainer. And then what you could do is synchro Formula Synchron and a couple other cards to bring out this guy to try and attack, or Ally of Justice to just run him over and try to win through. I don't have that card. Gold Rat is great for drawing cards if you want. This one prevents your cards from being destroyed by battle. Yeah, this is the one. So your cards can inflict piercing damage. Incident Magician just to stall out. I wouldn't recommend trying to go with this since this card's all about trying to OTK. But that is an alternative if you're just completely screwed. So yeah, this deck is very fun to play. And it's like one of the few decks I actually have in real life that I run. So yeah, it's Law of the Normal.